Let's review how to factor quadratics. We're going to start with x squared plus 5x minus 6. So we want to factor this quadratic so that we have two expressions in two sets of parentheses, an x plus or minus something, an x plus or minus something. We need to find two numbers. We'll call them m and n. And these two numbers need to be able to multiply to -6 and add to 5. So it needs to multiply to the product of the coefficient here and the number here. This is technically a 1. 1 times -6 is -6, so that goes here. I need an m and an n that multiply to make -6, and then I need those numbers to also add to 5, the middle number. So let's brainstorm. What numbers do we have that can multiply to -6? Well, we have 3 and 2, or 6 and 1. Those are the ways that we can multiply to get a 6. But we want a -6. So let's look at these two. One of these signs would have to be negative to make this a -6. And same here. One of these signs would have to be negative. So let's keep that in mind. Now we need to figure out which of these sets can make 5. Now, one of these has to be negative to make a -6. So if we have -3 plus 2, that's going to make -1, not 5. So that's not going to work. What about -2? Well, 3 minus 2 is 1, which still isn't 5. So 3 times 2 isn't going to work for us. What about 6 and 1? If we make the 6 negative, -6 plus 1 is -5, which is close, but not what we need. What if we make the 1 negative? 6 minus 1 is 5. Yes, so that works. So in here, we will have x and x, and then we'll use these two numbers after that. It does not matter which order they go in. All right, so now that this quadratic is factored, let's solve it. So using the zero product property, one of these parentheses sets must equal 0. So we either have x plus 6 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. We solve for x and solve for x. And we have our two solutions. So x is equal to -6 and 1.